But before I get into it, I just want to put a few disclaimers out there. Um, Looking forward to it. Nice. Hey, Chocolates, how's it going? First thing, I have not played every matchup in this game. So some of them I will be giving like a Smash 4, I guess, skewed perspective on things. Like, for instance, I haven't fought any Corins yet, so this isn't a 100% comprehensive matchup chart for every character. I'll do my best for every character, but it is, first and foremost my experiences only. Second, I don't think Olimar loses any matchups, as you see over here. Is my mouse not showing up? Let me see. Let me see if I can get my mouse to show up. Capture cursor. That's not what I want. One sec, guys. Let me. There it is. Oh, okay. I know what I have to do. So yeah, I don't think Olimar loses any matchups, as you see here. It's either even, slight advantage, or large advantage. I'm gonna keep it rather vague in that regard. I don't really want to I don't want to put like number ratios like 50-50 or 55-45 right now. I think just like having general areas and where I think Olimar does is going to be a lot better. Not to say I won't do it in the future, but right now I think that's the best way to do it. But anyways, now that that is out of the way, I can kind of get started. I guess I'll just go down the list from the top. Bayonetta. I'm leaning towards slight advantage, but it might end up being large advantage. My reasons being, in Smash 4, Olimar I think went even against Bayonetta as much as you could go even. It was difficult, obviously, but he had tools to handle her on the ground really well. And the biggest issues before were you couldn't challenge her in the air, and which time was very destructive, and you just died very easily. But now all of that has been severely reduced, so now it's easier for you. Hey, Donna, how's it going? Let me adjust this. There we go. This camera's got a lot bigger range than I thought. But so like what I mean by that is like now we can challenge her in the air. Her aerials aren't nearly as good as they were. Like she can't just hold an aerial for free. It has more lag. Our aerials also are able to challenge hers now, so because we have like swords. She doesn't kill you nearly as easily. A lot of her kill power has been nerfed. Up air is not really a kill move anymore, at least not in the same way. You don't get laddered off the top almost ever. Witch time has been gutted. Like, they witch time a Pikmin on them or something like that. There's a lot more of a chance that you're going to be fine, like safe. So, large advantage is definitely somewhere it could end up being, but I feel like I would need more experience in it. But I don't feel like I feel comfortable saying that Olimar wins that matchup. Like, yeah, she can still combo him. She can still put out some solid offstage pressure when he's recovering with her, offstage like nairs and things like that. But it's not nearly as oppressive as it was, in which time's not as big of a threat. So overall, like with her her neutered killing power, worse combos, worse everything, it's just going to be better for Olimar as he also got stronger. Bowser. This is one that I also don't have too much experience in. Like I played against some Bowsers, and he has solid options. I think like his up B out of shield's really good. He obviously hits really hard in a lot of ways. His up tilt's very good. It's a strong kill option. But I'm leaning towards Olimar winning it slightly, because he's still Bowser. He still has to approach you. And while he does have some, decent combos and good kill power and good damage output, it's not as, like, if you don't hit a shield willy-nilly, like, you don't just, like, hit a shield really unsafe, it's a lot easier to handle what he's doing. Like, just keep in mind, like, his aerial side B, landing with it so you don't get caught with it. And then, excuse me, kind of just respect a few options from him, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you. Like, he has to approach, and while he's kind of fast, it doesn't, like, it's not always enough. Like, if you get somewhere like a larger stage, you're going to be able to keep him away, and then you're going to attack damage on side B, and then when he has to approach, you get one fair, one down tilt, and now it's a combo, and you rinse and repeat. And then it can be a bit hard when he's off stage, but like because his up B has such good mobility, but you can still dare him there where you couldn't do that before. Like you can still push your advantage state on him. You know, if you space your up air right, I believe it can beat his down air and up B or down B. But even then, you know, going stages with platforms or something like that might provide some additional coverage for you. So I think Olimar handles him really well. Do Rob next? No, because I am going in order of the characters. Bowser Jr., large advantage. I don't know how much got changed about him, but he always had a really hard time approaching Olimar. Now more so than ever. I mean, our smashes are still super good. Our aerials now just beat out his stuff, so it's even one more way we can deal with him really well. Yeah, he's probably got some of his own decent stuff, but like he, you know, we just get to put out a wall that gives him a lot of trouble, I think. And that's going to make it hard for him to get in. He's also heavy, so he's like combo food. His recovery can be exploited because he doesn't, you know, like if you knock him out of the clown card and he's forced to air dodge or something, he can miss the ledge. So you can put him in scenarios where his disadvantage state now just gets worse. So, you know, once again, I don't have too much experience in this matchup, but I have yet to see a reason why it would be anything worse than a large advantage for Olimar. Similar to how it was in Smash 4, now that we have better tools, and he might have gotten some buffs, but I don't think they really compare to what Olimar got. Falcon. I'm leaning towards even. This is also an even matchup in Smash 4, but in this game, from my experience, I've played Sean/Cashmere, the Tampa Captain Falcon. I've played him on Wi-Fi. I played him in tournament twice, and he still has some decent, you know, juggling potential. He's got good combos. You know, he's got the single hit and air setups into like knee. He's got his dare that you can't tech. Hey Mirage, how's it going? I'm just doing a matchup chart. He's got, you know, you can't tech grounded spikes anymore, which makes his landing dares are like on you much more devastating because he can get follow-ups a lot better. His up air is still pretty good. Up B is now a really strong kill move, so that can be really threatening. And it's really difficult, I've found, to hit his up B when he's recovering. Like in Smash 4, it was super free to just down tilt it. And even down smash they didn't space it right, but in this game I found it very inconsistent. I probably need to play around with it more and really test like where I need to be to hit him. But I think because he has all of these things, like he can kill pretty solidly. He's got some solid combos. It allows him to kind of keep up with Olimar due to the speed. Thank you, Mirage. But it's funny, even with all of that, like he goes at best even with Olimar. Like, yeah, he has, you know, good juggle abilities, but Whistle's still really busted. Keep in mind our Whistle's frames 2 through 7 for armor. So we get out of a lot of stuff, and you'll see as I go through and I explain it for other characters, like you can whistle a ton of stuff in this game. You know, Olimar's still small, so he can be hard to hit. We hit harder than Captain Falcon. We have ways to deal with him. He's combo food. He dies early. Like anything he's doing to us, we do it probably better a lot of the times. If we do our stuff right, we combo better. We hit harder. We do more damage. So Olimar's disadvantage against Alf? No, Alf doesn't have any winning matchups, unfortunately. But that's my thoughts on Falcon. It might go to slight advantage one day, but as of right now, I don't see that happening. I think his speed and the way his moves work are pretty solid with his semi-reliable kill setups and good pressure. She came from school. Exam scores are pretty good. That's I'm glad to hear that, Donut. Alf, can I move him? Good. We don't talk about Alf here. Look, no more Alf. Plant gang, no. Piranha Plant does not beat Olimar. Okay, Charizard. I'm going to clump Charizard, Squirtle, and Ivysaur into the same matchup. I'll talk about them on their own, but they're going to be the same placement tier list wise. Because you're never going to fight just one, and if you do, then that person is just purposefully limiting themselves, and I don't think that's very smart. But Charizard, like Charizard, Squirtle, and Ivysaur. I mean, they all have their own unique things, but I'm putting them in the same tier list spot because you're never going to run into one of them. Oh, I know I'm gonna fight Ivysaur. That's like the core one that you're gonna see a lot of the time. But Charizard, he's alright. I believe you can still block Flare Blitz in this game if you have a Pikmin in the front of him, like a red Pikmin and stuff. I believe it can still block Flare Blitz. Can't remember the exact, I don't know what's happened for me. It probably has. I mean, his speed's pretty decent. He's got stuff like Fair, like solid, options. He kills pretty early. But with many heavy characters you'll find in this game, you need to rank Ivysaur separate. Why would ranking Ivysaur separate do anything when I've never played a Pokemon trainer who's only played Ivysaur? Like, I'm going to give individual, like, and then just put the actual trainer. I'm gonna give, I suppose, I didn't even think about the trainer. Fine, I'll do that. That makes sense. I didn't even think about the trainer. Alright, I will put each Pokemon in their own thing, and then I'll put the trainer wherever it is. But, anyway, Charizard, he's big, and he's kind of fast, but at the same time, he doesn't have, like, a super good get-off-me option. And I feel like they neutered some of his kill power. Like, I don't think up B kills nearly as well in this game. He's got a good up throw, but he has to get in on Olimar. And most of the time, from my experience when I've been fighting Charizards, it's usually like the higher percent they'll bust it out, or when I'm at a high percent or they're high percent, it's like they're trying to finish off the stock really quickly, and they don't want to maintain it a lot of the time because Olimar is so strong and he racks up damage so quick, and you don't have a good way to like contest him in that long range with Charizard. You have to get in, and that's really devastating. You don't have the same like mobility as someone like Squirtle or something like Razor Leaf like Ivysaur, so it makes it really difficult. So I would put him in large advantage for Olimar. And I want to clarify that you can have a large advantage against these characters, but they can still obviously like catch you with some nasty stuff and take stocks or whatever. Like, don't like, if you see a character in slight advantage or large advantage, like they can still win through any circumstance or whatever. But it's just generally Olimar has the tools to be stopping them a lot more often or getting more off of what he's doing. So that's something important to keep in mind. Okay, Crom. I'm gonna put him in even. Him and Lucina especially, since they're the easier swordsmen to play. They're the easier sword characters to play. They get a lot more for a lot less. So Crom is just getting to press buttons on your shield for free a lot of the time. And yeah, he has an exploitable recovery to some extent, and you can hit it if you're really good, but you often run the risk of like misspacing it and then dying because you did it, or you might get a sour spot dare and then it sends him up and out, and then now he just air dodges back or something, and then like his airspeed's so good that he gets back in on you. So Olimar can like hurt him really badly, but at the same time it's like he just gets to throw out a ton of buttons on your shield for free. And he's just very quick. He's got super consistent kill power. Running jab into back air, running F tilt, up tilt, one to smash his back air, up air, whatever it is. So fighting him is just like a constant back and forth. You have two characters who are very high octane in terms of the damage and the pressure they put out. And it goes back and forth. I think this is a matchup where you're going to want a lot of like, you're going to want platforms to help cover you. Like, I love Yoshi's Island Brawl. No one lets me take them there, but I love Yoshi's Island Brawl because of like the platform helps cover his approach options, and it gives you some protection. But just go to a stage where you're comfortable. Like, if you need somewhere else to run, like a lot of room to run from him, that's fine. He's really fast. He's going to be gunning you down a lot. And the biggest thing is just like hitting him once, and you just need to you need to force him in disadvantage a lot of the time, and like keep the pressure up on him when you get your one opening. Yeah, yellows are also super good. I mean, yellows are super good in this game, but against sword characters or characters with really dangerous recoveries, they're very important. I think Crom will follow the meta. Maybe. It's hard to say. I mean, Cloud stayed relevant in Smash 4, and he had a pretty bad recovery with that limit. Like, Crom's airspeed is so good that he doesn't need, like, having a bad recovery doesn't always mean death, because he can air dodge and he usually goes up as opposed to down. Like, yeah, if you send him like straight down or something like that, or at a downwards angle, like, it's going to be a lot harder and he probably won't recover. But if he has like room to go, then he's most likely fine. He might fall out of the meta some, but I think right now he's a solid character. Alright, Cloud. I'll put him in even as well. From my experience playing Cloud in this game, they still have pretty good back air, pressure. Forward air is really good, super safe. Their nair has been limited some, but that was never the big thing for him in Smash 4. I think it's weird. I consider this an even matchup in Smash 4 as well, but it's different now. I think it's still even because he still has decent juggling potential. He still kills really easily, and he's got good range. Actually, you know what? No, the more I'm thinking about it, Cloud has slight advantage because unlike someone like Chrom, he doesn't get to pressure your shield nearly as free. So Chrom's like landing up air into like this, into like down tilt, into whatever he wants, right? And it's constant. Cloud has like back air, forward air. It's very like one and done type of deal. It's not over and over and over and over again. And with the limit change, he has to burn limit pretty fast or he loses it. And then it feels like, yo, Spike with the resub. I appreciate it. 2 months. Let's go, man. But like, he has to like fair, and then that's kind of like the end of his pressure, or he bears, and that's the end of his pressure. Like he can add more to it after it, but it's not like Olimar where I'm like up smash, jab jab, or up smash, forward smash, right? It's not like the immediate thing. And because he has to do that, he has these really linear ways that he comes in at you. And those can be exploited with certain stages, you know, especially if there's a stage like slants. Like a good example is on Yoshi's Story, you know, the triplat one. If you go and you like crouch on the ledges, since they slant down, it's really hard for him to hit you with a back air. And then now that we have real aerials, we can contest his up air and down air way easier in this game. It's like if he's up airing us, yeah, you can still sometimes get up air, but also you can down air him. Or vice versa, he's down airing, you can up air him. You might trade or something, but you're able to deal with it a lot easier. So he's less potent at killing with a lot of stuff. You know, limit's not nearly as much of a threat. And you're just better at handling hitboxes, which is the one thing Cloud always had really going for him. So I think this is a slight advantage matchup for Olimar. It could still be tough. Obviously, I know Cloud can be scary when he's juggling you, when he's, you know, pressuring your shield with forward air and stuff. But for any fast character with Olimar, you need to try and. There's two ways you can handle fast characters. I personally prefer to match their speed. Like if they're going fast, I want to go fast because then I'm able to keep up with them. I'm Olimar. I can throw out probably more hitboxes than them. And while I don't move fast, I don't need to if I'm already around them, right? Like I don't need to like run as fast as Sonic if Sonic's already around me. So it's like trying to match their speed or even exceed it and then out pressure them. Or you can try and play very defensive. Is this like taking 2.0 patch? Yeah, this is 2.0, but I mean, it shouldn't change much. And to be honest, I don't remember all the patch changes, but it shouldn't change that much. I will say for Olimar, though, I mean, like with the current 2.0 bug, his smashes don't get anything when they're charged, but I'm not really taking that into account because that doesn't change matchups per se. But for fast characters, you need to either match their speed and exceed it to keep up with them so you're not getting overwhelmed, or you need to have a very rock-solid defense. Think like almost how like the Buzz is very like unwavering when he plays. It's very hard to crack him, and if you can do that, that can also work really well. I personally just prefer the more like fast-paced, like, you know, get things going type of gameplay. But either can work. But if you're trying to play a mid-range game, it's going to be a lot more stressful because you're going to try and be like feeling them out, but their speed's going to overwhelm you, and you're going to get like caught up and then comboed and then lose or something like that because you're putting yourself in a spot where you don't need to be. Corrin. I wouldn't say it affects much. Like, I wasn't taking that into account when I was considering the matchup. It was just like a tool he has. I mean, he lost it. Great, but his overall, like, kit was what kept it even, not the Chrom side. Okay. So, Corrin. I have not played a single Corrin in this game. But, from what I know, it should be, I would go with slight advantage. Reason being, Pin seems to have been neutered in a lot of ways. I don't know how strong it is, but I know it's got like a lot more lag, so you can like punish kick away or anything like that. But I believe the counter has also been weakened, and these were the two big things that were really frustrating. Counter killing you super early. Like I remember in Smash 4, I died at like, I think I forward smashed a Corrin. I was at like high 20s, and they had 90 something rage, and I died off the top of Town and City because my purple F smash got countered. I don't think that happens anymore. At least not nearly as early. And then Pin being nerfed means it's not as over centralizing. It's a lot more committal. But in addition to that, the one thing that made Olimar really frustrating to fight Corrin with was in Smash 4, your aerials would clank, your smashes would clank, so you never had a way to contest her. But now that we have legitimate aerials, you know, getting down from her juggling us is a lot easier. We're also a little bit faster in this game. So, yeah, she probably still has a solid juggle game, but with Whistle and with our own down air, we can now contest her much easier. In Smash 4, you could not contest her up B when she's recovering unless they misspaced it and you hit them with like a desync down smash, which was super tight spacing, super tight timing, and they usually had to approach the ledge wrong. But in this game, now we can just dare them every single time if you space it right. So we have ways to push our advantage a lot better on them. We don't have to worry nearly as much. They kind of lost their over-centralizing option. So I'm not too worried about this matchup. It might change, it might get better or worse for us, but I think right now slight advantage is a solid place to put it. The biggest reason we struggled in Smash 4 was we couldn't, Pin was so free against Olimar. Like, it was just super frustrating. We were always having to work like 10 times harder than them for a lot of stuff, but now we don't have to do that. And even in Smash 4, we had ways to kind of deal with Pin if you were really, keen on the spacing and paid attention to how they approached you. But, Olimar's disadvantage in this game has improved so much because of the legitimate aerials that are transcendent between, because of how the directional air dodge can benefit you with the, changed Whistle armor to be earlier. There's a lot more ways to get down, and I think that helps him a lot in this matchup. Daisy and Peach will be the same. That's an even matchup. Daisy and / Peach, they always gave Olimar trouble. I believe in Brawl they did. And in Smash 4 they did. But in this game, I don't think they do. What they normally do is they'll hover above the ground and they pressure you with a lot of safe shield pressure with strong attacks, with combos. And it was normally very difficult to deal with. But in this game, it's kind of like a recurring theme on how Olimar handles things, we're able to contest them in the air now. Whereas before, it's like the only way you were contesting Peach was if you had a big disjoint or whatever. Well, we have that big disjoint. If Peach is right on you, you don't mess with Peach when she's right on you. But it's when she's approaching, you hit her before she gets to you, right? And then she has nothing to do. She'll have like forward air, and it has a good range and it's good. But it's like you have ways to contest it. I only put Daisy there because she was before Peach. I actually like Peach better than Daisy, but like we have ways to handle Peach's kind of like floating pressure. We can also camp them out pretty well on larger stages. Like we can make them have to approach if we're really smart about it. We can get in their face. We can pressure them very hard. We can put out a wall that they have to respect. Whistle is really good against Peach as well. They often have a lot of like single hit stuff outside of like dare and up air, and even then you can still whistle up air. Dare a bit harder. You usually have to get out of it by the time you whistle it. But something, for those that know it, the really popular Peach combo where it's like down tilt nair, and they kind of carry you forward with it. Olimar can whistle through that. I don't know the exact specifics of when you can do it, but I've done it numerous times. So it's like, like down tilt nair, and then they'll go for a down tilt, and they go for the second nair, and then you whistle it. Like I was fighting Sam Sawyer, and he was doing it to me, and I was like, pop, 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 and then he naired me, and I whistled and up smashed and killed him. Kind of specific? Yes. Each matchup actually has, like, specific lineups or, like, colors that provide more of a benefit than versus others. For example, yellows are super beneficial against Peach and Daisy because you want to milk as much range as you have. You need to like push the limits of how far you can outspace them because you don't want to be near them. You want to hit them, but you want to be safe while you're doing it. And yellows are really good for doing that because you can yellow fair, you can yellow back air. You can put out this long yellow forward smash to be like respect this option while it's active and give yourself some space to do it while they're trying to float in. So yellows are super effective against them. Because of the extra range and stuff, and then it also helps you get combos on a character like Peach and Daisy, who's normally super good at getting out of combos. The added hit stun and hit lag of the yellow is super beneficial. So yeah, I think this is an even matchup. We can kind of contest Peach in terms of damage output, kill power, and we can keep her out before she gets in. And even when she gets in, sometimes we have options with Whistle, with our own attack and things like that. It's just really understanding how she works as a character, where where the points where she has to let up in her strings of pressure are, and how to deal with it. But it's definitely an even matchup. And there are matchups that you'll see me put an even or slight advantage that you might personally struggle with, and that's fine. Not everyone plays it the same, but when I put a character in a matchup, it's going off what I know and how I know how to handle them. And like, it can be an even matchup, and it can still be difficult to do. I don't consider like an even matchup not annoying or something like that. Like, if I lose a matchup, it's because Olimar doesn't have the tools to deal with it, or a majority of the time they have better tools to deal with it. But in an even matchup like Daisy or like Chrom or whatever, it can be frustrating or annoying because these characters are really strong, they're really fast, and they're putting out a lot of pressure. But Olimar has the tools to deal with it. You just have to apply them properly. Dark Pit. I've played Kid G. He's a player from my region. I've played his pit a lot. And it's weird. I'm trying to think of where I'd want to put it. I'm leaning. People think Wolf beat Oli, but no, I don't think Wolf beats Olimar. I think Shuton plays that matchup not as good as he could. I think I'm also pretty bad at it as well, honestly. I think Wolf goes even, and I'll kind of explain why in a bit. But Olimar doesn't lose in matchups, in my opinion. But Dark Pit / Pit. I'm trying to think. I want to lean towards slight advantage. I'm actually going to put Pit down here as well. And I know they have differences, but Pit, which I'll talk about in a minute, also has some nice advantages. Nice advantage, I guess, over Dark Pit. Where is Pit? There it is. So yeah, slight advantage. They have multi-hits, which are pretty solid, I guess, for combos, for beating out Whistle and stuff. Olimar can still whistle through some of their multi-hits when they try and get them out of certain combos. But it can be hard for Pit to approach. Like, he's got like dash attack and then maybe some arrows or the occasional like aerial mix-up or something, but because now we can contest the people in the air, it's a lot easier for us to put out this hitbox beforehand and kind of beat them out. Whistle's very good against them. They die easy. They can sometimes struggle to kill. Dark Pit has a little bit easier with Electroshock as opposed to Upper Dash Arm, because it's going to kill off the side, but even then it's like, respect those options, and you're not going to be getting hit by them nearly as much. Their recovery, while it's good distance-wise, it can be a bit exploitable because they kind of have to, when they up B, they go in this line with no hitbox, which makes it, pretty easy to be able to down air them or down smash them or down tilt them when they're grabbing the ledge. They're not terrible. They can ledge guard us pretty well, especially Pit. His arrows, I think, are better because he has so much more maneuverability, and he can kind of just keep pestering us with them when we're high or low, whereas Dark Pit's kind of locked into this very rigid angles. So I think they both have reasons why you might want to play him. Like, Dark Pit's going to have a bit better kill power. Pit's going to have better offstage pressure and be able to pester you a bit more, and then maybe come out there with a fair or something, and they can do that decently. But overall, I think they do struggle to get in on Olimar, stay in on Olimar, and then it's very unbalanced in who kills easier. Like, they have a kill throw with forward throw, but no kill throw, very few kill throws, I guess, contest with Olimar's up throw. It's super strong. And yeah, they have a reflector, but reflectors don't beat Olimar. They're just something you have to keep in the back of your mind. Like, when you're fighting a character with a reflector, you just don't spam smashes. And sometimes they'll read you, and sometimes you get punished. I mean, it happened to me versus Kid G. When I was playing him in my weekly the other week, we were playing or whatever, and I'm making a comeback, and it was like game 3 or whatever, and then I go for one greedy smash, and he reads it, and I die, and I lose the set. But that was on me. That wasn't like, oh, he got me because I couldn't do anything. It's like, you just don't need to smash there, and because your aerials are legitimate transcendent hitboxes, because you have side B, you have your tilts, you have a decent grab. You don't always need to rely on smashes. Instead, you kind of incorporate them into your gameplay in a place where they can't reflect them, or they won't reflect them, and you kind of shift your gameplay style. But I think because they struggle to kill very frequently, they oftentimes, you'll pop out of their multi-hits, or they're even their moves like down air and back air are really good. They're pretty strong. They have weird ass sour spots, like back air can send you straight up, or down air can send you straight up, and it's like having those flaws. When they struggle to kill, that's a character who kills very easily. I think it's very difficult, and they can be a bit exploited off stage. Dark Samus. I haven't fought too many Samuses, but the way I'm looking at it, and I know she got a little bit better with the patch. Um, the way I look at it is Samus still struggles to approach Olimar. We can block her projectiles very well. I know the missile change makes them a bit more interesting, like the slow one like stops and then it goes or whatever, and its timing's a bit different. But overall, they don't have a super good way to get in. Once again, we can contest them in the air now. We just need to like understand when to put our hitboxes out, kind of like block them with our Pikmin as we get in on them. And once we get in on Samus, combo or down tilt, up smash, up air, forward air, whatever you want to be it, and then keep pressuring them, and then kind of like a rinse and repeat type thing. And you know, the Samus player is likely to get frustrated because they don't have a super strong option to deal with Olimar just throwing out so many more Pikmin. Because that's the thing about Olimar, you can throw out way more projectiles than the opponent can usually. Like for every like one they do, you throw in like 2 Pikmin, and if your Pikmin die, it's fine. You're gonna pluck more, and what that's gonna do is it's probably gonna get you your purples faster. And if you get purples, then you can really go aggressive. Hey Dark Wizzy, how's it going? If you throw out purples, then it's going to get a lot easier to approach. You're gonna be able to pressure them much better. You're still going to be able to block projectiles to some extent. Your purples might die, but your entire dynamic changes when you get purples because you're able to just do so much more, and they have to respect you a lot better. Because you can cover different like layers or different like planes. Like you can cover above, below, you know, behind with purples and stuff like that. So I would put Samus in large advantage, or Dark Samus. Samus, same thing. I know they have slight differences, but I don't think they're big enough to warrant a difference in matchup. Diddy Kong. So I played a Diddy Kong for the first time at Genesis. I played legit the NorCal Diddy Kong player at the pre-Genesis tournament, and he beat me 2-0. I know he had Solimar or Solimar/Klaatu experience, whatever you want to call him. And I'd never played Diddy Kong until I played him, and there was a lot of stuff that caught me off guard. Banana's entirely different. The way you have to handle it now, it stops forward smash and stuff like that, and it doesn't go away immediately on hit. And his dash attack now combos into aerials. You know, running smashes are very good for things like down tilt and banana. It's a different dynamic, but I don't want to say that. Like in Smash 4, Olimar beat Diddy. He was able to handle banana really well, and I think that might still be the case in this game. Like especially if you can grab his banana and then kind of just play a keep away game. Yeah, Diddy's pretty fast, but there are ways to handle that. You just need to kind of get your hitboxes out before he gets to you. And I mean, I think I did pretty solid against him. I was having to learn everything on the fly, but I still put up a solid fight, and I was pretty competitive in a lot of ways. I'm leaning towards even or slight advantage right now. It's really hard to say just with like a lack of experience. I might give him even for the benefit of the doubt, but I wouldn't be surprised if Olimar ended up winning it in the long run. Once I kind of just from fighting legit, Banana seemed like it had plenty good stuff. Like being able to run into a smash is so powerful, especially with how good his forward smash is. Like he would run and he would down tilt, running forward smash, banana throw, running forward smash, and it was so potent at pressuring me. And the way banana works now, it's like transcendent, so it's different. So you have to handle it differently, and it's very difficult to deal with. Only one of the Samus got changed patch. Okay, I think it was like the bomb thing or whatever. But I'm gonna put Diddy in a slight advantage. It might be even, you know, I could be wrong, but I'm gonna need to play it more. But just from looking at both the tools we have, I think Olimar, in theory, can handle him really well. He can deal with Banana really well if you just kind of weave your Pikmin in and out properly. So there's that. I think also Whistle will do really good against him because he has a lot of single hit aerials. Just watching out for the banana setups and down tilt setups, and you should be pretty safe. Alrighty, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. Thinking. I want to say slight advantage. He doesn't have Ding Dong anymore, which is really good. When a character loses their over centralizing kill confirm, it helps a lot. He still has good stuff. He still hits really hard. His tilts are really strong. Back air is very good. He can kind of go deep with it. But he's combo food. His disadvantage state is arguably worse than Olimar's. You know, it's all about exploiting him. Now we can dare any aerial against his up B, which we couldn't do before, just because it would clank. So, yeah, if Donkey Kong puts you in a disadvantageous spot, it's going to be kind of difficult to get out of because he has big hitboxes and all that. But he operates a lot of single hits, which means Whistle's pretty strong against him. We can kind of keep him out. We have range to contest his big range. It's just kind of knowing where to be at the right time. Like, if you get yourself to pin down, like, if you let him corner you, it's going to be very difficult to... It's going to be very difficult to get out of there, obviously, because he has big hitboxes and stuff like that. Actually, Donkey Kong still has Ding Dong. Well, from my experience, I have yet to be, you know, cargo throw up into up aired and died. So, you know. And Whistle helps a lot. Like, I know, like, at their low percent, they like to do cargo throw up into up air, but you can actually whistle the second up air and stop their combo and then get down on them. So I think Olimar beats him slightly. It can still be tough, obviously. Heavies are always scary characters to fight. Bowser, you know, Donkey Kong, whoever it is, they hit hard. They move pretty fast in this game. They have big hitboxes, so it can be tough. But just trying to exploit their weaknesses, their lack of a disadvantage, not being able to necessarily land very easily. Using your very oppressive hitboxes is important in being able to pressure them. Dr. Mario. Large advantage? I like Dr. Mario, but he's so slow. Like, compared to Mario, I'm pretty sure he's slower. And that was the one thing that Mario really has, is like his speed can kind of be overwhelming with how much aerial pressure he can put out or whatever he decides to do. It's very hard to catch him, and he catches up to you really quickly. But Doc, while he has good stuff and he kills very easily, it's he still also suffers from the same problems as Mario. They both lose or struggle with like holding shield and maintaining stage control. Like, when you fight Mario or Dr. Mario, it's like, if you sit center stage and you hold shield, what do? They're going to throw you? Okay, you're not dead. You just keep doing that. You let them steal their kill throw. It was the same thing in Smash 4, too. Like, they can hit my shield all they want, but they're going to eventually have to hit my... If they want to keep up actual pressure, they're going to have to hit my shield with something that's not safe, and then I'm going to be there ready to punish. Cape is an annoyance, but it's like not a big deal, you know. Just like same thing with the pits, just don't throw out smashes willy-nilly and you're gonna be fine. I think Dr. Mario's up B also being worse than Mario's makes it a bit easier to handle. He does have the down B, which assists in recovering, but we can now challenge that as well with a well-spaced aerial. So it's just like when you get Doc off stage, you want to try and punish him, maybe like throw a purple at him, force him to respond to that immediately, then potentially come out there with a fair. There was another way to deal with Mario in Smash 4. So I think Doc struggles because he lacks the same speed as Mario to really stay in on Olimar, and it can be tough to approach. I know, I'm so close to 1,000, I'm excited. Duck Hunt. I don't have too much Duck Hunt experience. But I'm leaning to slight advantage. Olimar can block his projectiles pretty well. Pikmin still detonate can, which is very important. Like, just being able to stop one of their best, like, trapping projectiles is very nice. Gunman and Clay Pigeon are pretty good in this game, but I believe they recently nerfed Clay Pigeon to not have as much knockback on it, or like hit stun or whatever. So that it doesn't always combo into itself for free or whatever. But I think he's alright. He's got solid aerials, but we can contest them in this game, and that's very important. He can have a little bit of an exploitable recovery it's just like when you fight a duck hunt, you want to try and match their like projectile wall while you're approaching. In my opinion, you can camp them in some instances. There's nothing wrong with camping a character out, especially like him. So don't be afraid to do that. But like when you get in on duck hunt, you're probably going to get a lot more than what he's going to get when he hits you once or twice. Because like Olimar's combos are so strong, so explosive. You get like one up smash, and then you're going for a ride on someone. So you want to like block his stuff while you go in. Try and abuse parrying when you can. Use F smash. Like running F smash is such a good way to just put out like a wall that they have to respect. It can potentially stop gunmen. It can stop clay pigeon. Whatever it is, it's like no one else can just like run and put out this forward moving hitbox that doesn't like that's very low commitment, and that's really good to fight a character like Duck Hunt. So I think he's all right, but he lacks it. His kill power is not the best either. Yeah, he's got smashes, and he's got I think like back air, neutral air, and up air, which aren't bad. But I've fallen out of up air a few times in this game, and that's one of the downsides of multi hits is sometimes you fall out of multi hits, and that's bad, you know. So I think his struggle with killing in some instances, mixed with the fact that we can kind of match his projectile like pressure and potentially exceed it, it gives us the slight advantage over him. Falco, I know where he's going. Right there. Falco's not bad, but he doesn't have the same luxury as like Fox or Wolf, where he's got super free shield pressure or super strong combos. Like he's got stuff, but it's a lot less threatening. His reflector's better in that it's like frame 1, I think, or it wasn't Smash 4. But he suffers from not having these super oppressive frame trap strings. His smashes aren't as good as Wolf's. His aerials aren't as scary as like Fox's up air or nair or anything like that, or back air. So he's like the worst out of all the spacies, and that's why like I think he could do better, but he doesn't have a way to really just like keep us in that bad spot. And it requires a lot of like guessing or a lot of like hard reads. And like he's got like fair and neutral air, which can help cover things like our whistle, but now since we can he does horizontal pressure really well, but it's not good enough. You want like Olimar does horizontal very well, so you need to have an even better way to do that. And I think he doesn't have the speed / hitboxes to come together to do it. Short Bloom, no matchup, or really no matchup, is decided just by like one key thing like that. Like those things come into play, yeah, but I think there's more to it than if someone will have an advantage or not. Fox, I think it's an even matchup. Fox gave Olimar trouble in Smash 4. He's one of his worst, I think right behind Corn he was. His juggles are very strong. He had solid kill confirms. He could be hard to catch. In this game, that's still true to an extent, but now it's gone to an even matchup because we have ways to handle him. Like, whistle's super good. You can whistle up airs in this game. New webcam looking hot. Yeah, it is very nice. Also, with a 14-month resub spin, let's go. Like, he still has good pressure. His nair is super good on shield. He has, his up tilt combos. He has jab. It's always a quick option that he can catch us slipping if we drop shield at the wrong time. But it all feels less oppressive now that we have the legitimate aerials. Now that we have a faster whistle, we can get out of combos even faster. Having a frame 2 armor move it's better than like a frame 3 neutral air that combo breaks. Like it is fast. And Fox also suffers from being light as hell. I think Falco is also quite light, but they die easier than they kill us, and that's not something like Fox is a glass cannon in a sense, but like so is Olimar, but we're a better glass cannon. He's got really good stuff and he has good pressure and he has good speed, but he can be a lot more exploitable. Like just being small, having massive hitboxes, and having armor is so important that it allows us to contend with these characters who might have this blistering speed or free shield pressure or kill confirms or what have you. And now we also can we can also beat his recovery a lot easier in this game. before up B would just clank with our dare or whatever. Now we can dare it every single time. So while he stayed relatively similar to how he used to be, I think he even lost a kill confirm with his down air setup or something. Thank you, the big hitter. You know, it's like our disadvantage is better. We have strong out of shield options, better aerials, better, like, we're just better overall. Like, there's no way the matchup could be as bad as it was. So I think he in a solid spot because he can still pressure Olimar decently and he can still do all right, but we can also fight back a lot easier. Ganon, I bet you guys know where he's going. I mean, there's not much to say on Ganon. He's slow. He suffers from being camped very well, or like very hard. He one sec. He just struggles with getting in. He can be a bit of combo food. If you know how to respect Ganon or like when to respect him, it makes him a lot less efficient. He's better than he was in Smash 4, but his core problems are still there. And now that he lost Ganon side, it's even worse. Like before, he could like cheese you with Ganon side if you got greedy, but now you can't, and that's really bad. Like something I forgot to touch down on Bowser with too is like if Bowser side B's you, right? Like side B, he Bowser side you, dude. Mash up B, and you will recover with Olimar like every single time. So he lost that trump card, so now he has to approach you, or he has to do this stuff, and just putting out these big walls and making him respect you, and making him have to approach is super frustrating for him. He doesn't have much to deal with it. And he lacks the speed unlike someone like DK or Bowser, who's a bit faster and have these like super good like hitboxes, like the Donkey Kong back air, or a Bowser like forward air, or Bowser like down tilt or jab or something like that. They have more mix-ups and stuff they can add to their game, but Ganon just kind of lacks that. And if you respect his stuff, it makes it a lot harder for him to do anything. Greninja, even. It's a matchup I've played a lot with Akashic. Greninja hits hard. He's fast. He has good shield pressure, but he still has the same fundamental problems he always had, and that's shielding, similar to Fox, really gives him trouble. Yeah, he does have a kill throw with up throw and forward throw, depending on your position, but they're not super strong, especially up throw. Shielding kind of allows his pressure to peter out almost, and that's what you want. You want him to like nair you, and then you want him to have to follow up with something else, and that second thing is what's unsafe. Because the nair is unsafe, or the fair is safe, and then he does something else. So you do that, and then you also want to catch him on like the startup of his moves. Like neutral air and forward air aren't fast; they have slower startup. So you catch him while he's rising with it, with your own like forward air or your up air, and you kind of deter him from jumping, because that's what they like to do. They like to jump. They like to use their speed to get in and kind of keep you guessing on what they're doing. And it's scary because when he hits you, it's very devastating. Like when he catches you with a nair, you're probably eating up smash or forward smash. When he dash attacks you, funny enough, you can actually whistle. You can whistle like dash attack fair pretty much every time. You can even whistle nair setup sometime. And that's really good. That does prolong our stocks. The important thing is just knowing, sometimes when I'll like whistle a dash attack into a fair, if he spaces his fair right, so like let's say Olimar's right here and he comes in with a fair, fairs me, but if he hits just the tip of it and he drifts back, my airspeed is so slow that even if I whistle it, I can't punish him. And if I try to approach, he can actually drift back and forward smash my approach. So there's an interesting dynamic on that depending on how he spaces his moves. But whistle does provide some much needed relief. But he's got really easy kill power. Shadow Sneak is very strong. It's very fast as well, so it can catch you off guard if you're not prepared. Forward air, super strong kill move, massive range, safe on shield when spaced right. There's just a lot of ways he can mix it up. But Olimar also kills him very easily. You can kill him at like 100 or less with an up throw, with a rage. So it's just very back and forth. You guys are trying to constantly hit each other. I know he also recently lost his Hydro Pump canceling, which is just a nice thing for us. So now he can't just like do it whatever he wants on the platform and get away with it. So I think his kill confirms and speed allow him, similar to Fox, get in on us, put in some good pressure, kill us early, but he doesn't hold the advantage state on us nearly as well as someone like Fox. He kind of just gets away with these really strong kill options, but we can exploit his slower startup frame data, his light frame, and catch him with that with our strong kill moves and exploit his recovery similar to someone like Fox. Any tips for improving your game? I mean, online is a super good way, but if not, just try to go to your locals and practice a lot and just ask people like for advice and stuff like that when you play them, and just try and play a lot. But if you can make online work, I definitely recommend it. Ice climbers. I don't have too much experience in this. I'm leaning towards slight advantage right now. Just because I feel like they don't have a super strong way to approach. And I think forward smash, if I'm remembering my set with Big D at Genesis, I think forward smash beats their side B. So we can kind of just like put out a ton of hitboxes at them. And they just like linger, like it'll hit Nana or it'll hit Popo, and then it just like lingers there, and it's a big hitbox. And they do a lot of damage. They hit hard, sure, but it's so easy to just hit them. That's how I've always viewed this matchup, even back in Brawl when I used to play it. It just felt like if you just hit them, it was super easy to deal with. So you want to put out these hitboxes, similar to how I mentioned with like Peach, and kind of like force them to respect it because they don't have a great way to do it. Do you play at every Big Cheese in Prism? Yeah, I go to every weekly. So I'm going to put them in slight advantage. There's not too much I can say right now just because I don't know maybe the more fine details of the matchup. But, you just kind of want to put the hitboxes out before they get to you, combo them. Generally, you obviously want to separate them and then just make it difficult for them to approach. Ike. Oh, boy. Even. I know some people said Ike beat Olimar in Smash 4. I don't think he beats Olimar in this game. I think it's weird because the only Ikes I've lost to are MKLeo, and everyone loses to MKLeo, so it's really hard to gauge. I hope to see you there, Big Hitter. Yeah, I mean, it's alright if you're not good early on. The biggest thing is just keeping up the attendance, trying to improve constantly, and always doing your best, and you'll improve over time. We have a lot of nice people there who are happy to play and all that stuff. Yeah, so like I've lost to MK Leo at the two big tournaments I've went to, Smash Conference and Genesis. Both times in winners I lost to Leo. DeBuzz lost to Leo twice at Genesis. Like, Ike's good. Nair is very over-centralizing. It gets him a lot of mileage in kill combo. It does the damage. It gets early combos. It gets kill combos. It's consistent. But I'd be lying if I said we're playing that matchup right. I think there's a lot more we could be doing. I've been theory crafting some ways that I want to approach the matchup, so that I can kind of stop the way he's playing it. Like I've been thinking you don't want to try and play a mid-range game against Ike because he's so big. Like his sword range is so big. He's so safe. You need to respect Nair all the time. Even if you parry it, you have to respect it if they space it. So there's a lot of nuance in how you have to handle his stuff. But I think even's a good place to put it, just with how devastating he is when he touches you. It's very scary. He can get out of disadvantage pretty free with side B. If he recovers even slightly high, it's so hard to catch. But I mean, we can in theory keep him out pretty well. I mean, there's been games where I've done it. There's been games where DeBuzz has done it. You can really like keep him out. You want to abuse the fact that he's maybe not as fast as someone like Chrom or Falcon, and then he can be a bit of combo food at times. But it's just a very volatile matchup. Both people can just die very easily, which seems to be the case with these even matchups. Incineroar. Similar problem to Ganon and Charizard by extension. He's slow. He doesn't have a projectile. He's forced to approach with his range, like bad range, like melee range. Like that's a recipe for disaster versus Olimar. I remember I played Magister, Magister, the Incineroar player. I played him at Genesis, like for the free post or whatever. And I guess he never played in Olimar, but he told me, he was like, I don't think I've ever played a matchup with Incineroar where I felt like I could not win until now. Like, that's how bad it was for him. And I definitely contribute a portion of that to the fact that he never played a really good Olimar. But it's really bad for Incineroar. And I know people are like, oh, but I have revenge. You can revenge a Pikmin. Like, okay. Feel free to revenge a Pikmin. I mean, I played Smash 4 with Bayonetta and Witch Time. That's not new to me, man. Like, revenge. Yeah, if you revenge a Pikmin, cool. You get a buff. But if you hit said Pikmin off or another Pikmin off, like let's say I throw a Pikmin on you and you have revenge, and you like neutral air to get it off, that takes away your revenge. And it's really easy for Olimar to do enough damage to take away revenge. So while yeah, it has its benefits, I mean, what if I whistle my Pikmin back as I read your revenge, and then you get punished? So because he still has to approach, he has a somewhat linear recovery. And he's just slow. It's very hard for him to keep up with Olimar. Inkling. Slight advantage. I've beaten Dyer's Inkling. We played once. I beat him. I lost to Cosmos game 5. I personally think I handled that set pretty poorly. No, big hitter. Play whoever you want. If you enjoy Pokemon Trainer, keep playing them. Best to learn with who you enjoy playing. What is it? I played my set against Cosmos. I think it was really bad, especially those first 2 games. Like, I feel like I wasn't where I needed to be mentally to be playing him. And then games 3 and 4, I kind of picked it up, and then game 5, he, same thing back to me. Thanks, Rain KJ. But, like, if you look at, like, the difference between, like, myself and the Buzz is that very, like, sturdy wall, very hard to shake. Like, he handled Cosmos's, like, blind aggression. I don't want to say blind aggression, but, like, overly aggressive playstyle very well, and I think I could have handled it as well, but Olimar has tools to deal with Inkling very well. We can block Splat Bomb. It can be annoying, sure. It's just a good move. We can block it with our Pikmin. When he rollers, no, you're fine, big hitter. When he rollers, right, like he's coming. If you F smash with Olimar, it'll like trade. So you can trade, or if you space it right, you'll just hit him before he even gets to you. We can down tilt / down smash Inklings up B pretty easily, so it's very much too frameable for us. We can whistle their up air, like their up throw up air confirms. The Buzz never did it. But if you watch me versus Cosmos or just me versus any Inkling, you'll see I whistle their up airs a lot. So that hurts a lot of their juggle potential. They have like solid moves like back air, neutral air, fair, and stuff like that, and they have like decent up close options, but they don't have any massive advantage against us, and we can make it very difficult for them to get in if we play our stuff right and we kind of respect the few options we need to. Our damage output's way higher than theirs. We kill them very easily. So it's kind of just like they have to work harder than us, and that's the big thing. So that's why I think Olimar wins that. Isabel. Thinking. Villager was an even matchup in Smash 4, but things have changed. Yeah, I was leaning towards slight advantage. There's a lot of those for us. Yeah, Pocket's kind of annoying, but it's like that's about it. Slingshot can be frustrating whenever. Shield beats Fishing Rod, and with Fishing Rod we can F smash or side B, and if she grabs us and our move goes, it can break it. We can contest her aerial super easy in this game, which in Smash 4 was a big benefit for them. Her recovery can be exploitable. I was fighting a villager, and I know they're not the same character, but I was fighting a villager, and I had a Pikmin latched onto his head. And this also happened in Smash 4, but those that don't know. When a Pikmin ticks on you, there's an actual hitbox to it. And what you can do, at least for a villager, is you can pop the balloons on their head with the ticks of side B, and I gimped a villager that way. So, we kind of zone them out really well. Yeah, no, they can't pocket one that's latched on. So we kill them easily, we can test them in the air, we can go equally as deep off stage, so we have a lot of mobility in how we can get around them. And I think we're just better at killing, and they don't get to zone us nearly as free as they would a lot of other characters. I think that's why Olimar beats them, because they don't have the same combo and raw damage output we do. So it's kind of like a worse version of us in a sense, or a different version that's not as potent. Give me one sec, guys. Do whites tick more frequently? No. They all tick at the same speed. They just do more damage per tick. Ivysaur. Slight advantage. He's pretty good. Also, I believe it's live for anyone who was wondering, or for anyone who saw it before. I did opt into Smash Summit. Is it not going to post my thing? Maybe Nightbot's not in the chat. One sec. I opted into the Smash Summit. So if anyone would like to vote for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Like helping me get nominated. There it is. There it is. Yeah, let me update my thing because it changed. You just gotta space out the thing. It didn't do it properly. I appreciate it, Big Hitter. Yeah, but if anyone could, here, I'll just post the link one more time the proper way. If anyone could vote for me, I do very much appreciate it. It should be up. They said it'd be up at 3. But I am trying to get in, and I do need all the help I can get for voting. But Ivysaur, slight advantage. I think he struggles with the fact that his range is very good in certain areas, but that's about it. Razor Leaf, it's a pretty annoying move. It's solid. Pairing helps a lot against it. Oh, okay, Big Hitter. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm always happy to help. If you have any questions at the weekly or anything, feel free to ask. I'm always down to help someone. But like, so when Ivysaur Razor Leafs, you can actually forward smash it and it'll just beat out his Razor Leaf. I think Purple Side B also goes to it as well. So you can contest his zoning option pretty well. You can whistle some of his stuff. He doesn't have super good kill confirms on us. Yeah, you have to watch out for down air when you're recovering, but that's like, there's very niche areas where he does really well. He does the best out of all 3 Pokemon in my opinion. I think Squirtle does decently as well, but for different reasons. But I think he doesn't have any outstanding advantage against us that allows him to create an even playing field. It feels very limited. If you let him, he can keep you in disadvantage. It can be really scary. He's got decent hitboxes, but it's like, it's similar to someone like Cloud, I guess, where it's like when they up air you once, you know, instead of trying to like brute force your way down and take your up air and then maybe like jump away and go to ledge or something like that and reset the interaction to a different kind. So knowing where to respect Ivysaur matters a lot, but he doesn't, like, he's got decent options, but they're not super strong where they need to be, if that makes sense. Puff, losing matchup, large advantage for Olimar. We can test her aerials. Now, the one thing Puff ever had on us was that her aerials would always beat out ours, but now that doesn't work anymore, so we kill her super early. Her aerials lost the advantage they had. I mean, Whistle's even better in this game. It's just very hard for Puff to do anything. The air speed's good. She can pester us when we're off stage or whatever and try and keep us in disadvantage, but all it takes is one smack with our Pikmin and bam, we're fine again. So it's pretty straightforward with her. Alright. Kin. I've played against some Kin. I want to say slight advantage for Olimar. Similar with Ryu. I've actually fought less Ryu than I have Ken in this game, but while Ken has the benefit of being faster and having the multi-hit Shoryuken, which doesn't have a sour spot, it does he does still have his downsides. I mean, Shoryuken lost its invincibility, which is a massive buff for us. Like, now we can contest it. I remember I was fighting a Ken, and he Shoryu, and I F smashed, and he went into Clank Stun, and I was like, oh my gosh. I never thought I would see a Ken go into Clank Stun from like an F smash or anything. But also, his aerials don't just win anymore. They're super strong, and they have good range, but we can contest them, and being able to contest anyone in the air is such a massive benefit. It's unreal, because we could never do that before. And now that we can, they lost one of their biggest things. Like, we lost the ability to spam pivot grab, sure, but now we can fight you much better head on. We can also whistle focus attack. You can. I was fighting our local Ken, and we're on Kalos, and he. I know he's gonna shore you me. I know he runs up and shore yous, right? He does the Ken shore you. It's the 1, 2, 3, and he runs up and I just whistled, and he just 1, 2, and then the third one was too far above me. I didn't move, and I whistled the entire thing. He landed. I just forward smashed him. So I mean, like, we can whistle that if we do it properly. You just have to know when to watch out for things. I believe his Tatsumaki's a lot weaker than Ryu's because I think it's more of a combo move. That's good. Less kill power, the better. So while he's alright, I think he doesn't have the advantages they had in Smash 4 that make them as scary. Like, yeah, you can still die early, but it's like not as early. They're not as threatening in the air. They're not invincible anymore. It's just a lot easier to handle them, and I think they're already even. I think Ken was already, or Ryu was already an even matchup in Smash 4. So at this point, they're kind of just struggling to deal with someone who can fight them back and hit very hard as well. DDD. I'm leaning towards. Let me think. It's either it's one of the two advantage ones. I'm just trying to think which one I want to put it under. Because he still suffers that he's DDD, but he's got some better stuff in this game. I guess I'd go with slight advantage. A few important things to note. DDD now has the ability to reflect projectiles, right? So when you side B, do you ever lose at the weeklies? Yeah, I've lost at the weeklies plenty. I win a majority of them, but I still do lose from time to time. But like, so if I side B a DDD and he's inhaling, he'll actually shoot it back at me. Something that I think is really ridiculous is, like, let's say I throw a red Pikmin at DDD and he inhales it and spits it back. I take 17%. That's crazy. So he can reflect, air quotes around reflect, our side B. However, if we forward smash or smash at all and he inhales it, he doesn't reflect it. He actually eats it and goes into a ton of lag, which is a free punish for us. And when I was fighting Big D at Genesis, he went DDD the last game because I beat the Ice Climbers and he went to Switch, I guess. And I was exploiting the fact that he would try to inhale and I would just F smash and he'd be stuck in there in the lag line, F smash him again or something. DDD's big body makes him combo food. Yeah, he's got solid options with Nair. His aerials are pretty good. Down tilt is a good, like, catch you off guard option. Up tilt's intangible in some ways. But he's so big, he's still pretty slow. We can contest his aerials once again, like, especially things like Nair, that he suffers the big body problem. He kind of makes up for it with his solid recovery and the Gordo doing some decent trapping and all that. But at the end of the day, like, he still suffers from just being slow and being combo food and being able to die because we can kill him pretty easily. And if you know where to exploit his weak areas, like making him, like, if you think he's gonna inhale and then you smash him, well, all right. Actually, all of Top 64 or most of it was done on off-stream recording setups if it wasn't on the main two streams. So they should be uploaded at some point. Like, I know my Big D set, my Prodigy set, my Wadi set were all off-stream recorded. I got 9th at Genesis. So that's my thoughts on DDD. K. Rool, I'm also going to put in slight advantage. K. Rool's a little annoying. He's just an annoying character to fight. Crown's annoying. The Blunderbuss is annoying. But we can deal with him pretty decently. What do I think about Leffen? I think he's pretty good. I think he's got some interesting opinions about this game, but I think he's pretty good at the game. But like K. Rool, yeah, Crown can be kind of annoying, but like if you get in on him, it can be kind of tough for him to deal with stuff. We have pretty tight combos. We can break his armor. I've broken K. Rool's armor. Olimar hits really hard. So it's very easy to break it if they're getting a little too greedy with their armor on things like Nair and stuff like that, if you're using a lot of smashes. We can kind of camp him out decently. We can put out a lot of stuff, make him approach. You can actually dare his up B if you space it right, yellows especially. So that's something you can do. You can push your advantage state on him. It's just like, hey Omri, how's it going? It's just general heavy stuff. I mean, he's got some interesting setups. He's got his Nair stuff. He's got solid tilts, the down throw and the down tilt, like Barry things he can do. He kills pretty decently, but he's not the fastest, and we can kind of put out hitboxes before he can get to us. We can combo him. We can contest him in a lot of ways. That makes it difficult. As long as you understand what stages not to take him to. Like, I would never take a K. Rool to a triplat stage, at least not Battlefield. It's just like very frustrating because he just sits under it and then he just like spams crowns. So certain stages can be more annoying than others, but I think overall Olimar handles him very well. Kirby. Um. I don't have too much Kirby experience, but I'm leaning towards large advantage. Yeah, Kirby's annoying if he gets your copy ability or whatever, but he shouldn't. Like, he doesn't have a great approach option. He's slow. He has very bad range. So you can keep him out a lot of time. You kill him very easily. You can exploit. You can contest him very well. If he gets your copy ability, I mean, you just need to prioritize getting in on him and beating it out of him. Like, they can only three. If it's like Smash 4, and I'm pretty sure it is, they can only throw 3 consecutive ones before they have a cooldown, a short cooldown, and they can't use it in the air. So while it's annoying, yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, biggest thing is just kind of like understanding how the Kirby likes to approach. They have very linear options because they're poor speed and range, and then just trying to cover that with forward smashes or aerials and things like that, and then forcing them to approach with your side B so that they have to take more damage while they're trying to get in. Link. I'm thinking if I either want like an even matchup or a slight advantage. Link is interesting. I mean, he's got some like his bomb setups can be annoying. We can fuck with the bomb, like if we grab it or the Pikmin will bring it back and things like that. And we can contest Link's hitboxes pretty well. Like Olimar can actually just outrange Link down air. I don't know if you need a yellow or not, but you can do it. You'll trade most of the time if you do it if you poorly space it, but it's definitely possible. His up B is pretty big, so you want to be careful if you're messing with that because you don't want to get like ripped up and die. But I think slight advantage isn't too terrible. Like, keep in mind, like I said, slight advantage matchups. The characters can still win, you know, just fine. It's like if you're not handling their tools right. But I think because we can block a lot of his projectiles, we can contest his hitbox sizes and stuff like that. It can be difficult for him to do too much, especially on some stages more than others. But I could see this matchup going to even at some point, maybe with more developments or things like that. So right now I'm gonna put it slight advantage. Probably need more experience in playing it and really figuring out the more fine details of it. Little Mac, large advantage. I mean, it's same old. He's still scary on stage, obviously, but now that we have legitimate aerials, we can push our disadvantage on them much harder. Like in Smash 4, you couldn't fuck with up B or side B when you recovered unless you desynced your smash off it, which is very difficult to do. But in this game, he can do both in one airtime, but like if you just hit him, it's so much easier. Like just, oh, you back air side B, alright, he's dead. Forward air side B, he's probably dead. So you can push your advantage state on him even better. And then on stage in the neutral, it's just very like difficult for him to do much. You can kind of constantly throw stuff at him while he has to commit. And shielding can help a lot against him when he's throwing out a lot of lighter attacks, and then just respect his smashes like always. And then he just suffers from the Little Mac problem. Alright. Lucario. I don't have too much Lucario practice. But to my understanding, they kind of weakened his aura some and buffed his overall kill power to like balance it out. But I put slight advantage. Olimar just, you can block things like Aura Sphere pretty well. Whistle's pretty good at handling things like up air and back air if you're careful about it. His recovery is pretty exploitable if you can intercept it. Every color will stop Aura Sphere. So yeah, you can intercept his recovery. You're pretty good about it. With Olimar's kill power, you should be able to kill him a lot of the time before he gets into a super dangerous aura. Obviously that doesn't always happen, but Lucario could also kill like anybody with max aura. So I mean, I don't think that really decides a matchup. It's something to keep in mind, but I think with how well Olimar kills and how fast he can get him to kill percent, I think he could help a lot. You can contest him in the air. His weight kind of makes him solid combo food in some ways. And I think he just doesn't have a super good option to really get in on Olimar and make the most out of what he's got. Like his kit doesn't see full use because it's not always in Olimar's face and on top of him. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Lucas. I'll personally say I hate this matchup. I cannot stand playing against Lucas. He's been annoying ever since Smash 4. PK fires are a frustrating thing to deal with. Fair is frustrating. Zaire is frustrating. Whatever. But like, frustrating doesn't equate to a better matchup. You know, it's just like those are my personal things I don't like fighting. You know, reds are really good against Lucas because if you latch a red onto his face and he PK fires, it blocks it right as it comes out. And any color will block it. But the reds won't die because they're immune to fire. And what that does is that cuts out an immediate option he has in neutral to zone and things like that. And it makes him deal with it. And when he deals with it, you want to capitalize on that with maybe a forward air or a down tilt or things like that. A lot of electric properties to Lucas in 2.0. It might help us. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference it'll make. Our aerials are already good at contesting his. Like, I think because he also lost his like down throw crazy kill combo setups, it also made it a bit harder for him. Like he still has like good kill throws or whatever, but it's not as, he's not as potent at killing, I feel. Like he has to get more straight hits or things like that. So yeah, it can be annoying, but we can kind of like deal with a lot of his options at long range, and then up close we can be, I think, more devastating than Lucas. I think he has a harder time getting in if we adequately block his stuff. I personally was never the best at this matchup, even though I played it a lot with Mechos. I think there's a lot of refinement I needed in it. But I think someone like DeBuzz or a more defensive playstyle may benefit more from Lucas and forcing them to approach, walling them out, and then like frustrating them as they have to take a lot of percent to try and get in on you. Lucina, similar to Chrom, just really easy. Like the character, Lucina's easy to play. Because you don't have to have this very tight spacing. You're not being punished nearly as much. But unlike Chrom, while yeah, she has good pressure, she has like fair, down to whatever have you. Her offstage game is a lot better. She can go, like, her bear's super strong. She can go deep out there with it. Up out of shield's a really good option. You know, Nair's good. Like the way that she uses her sword keeps us more in disadvantage, especially offstage. At the trade-off of like an on-stage pressure, and they both have their merits. But I think the two characters, especially because they don't have to space nearly as much, there's no sour spots that are really hindering them. They get the benefit of the doubt and get that even matchup because it's so much easier. They get so much more bang for their buck. Yeah, Luke is up though kills, but I mean, he's got a Landis though, and Olimar, if you know he's gonna grab and use space, if you F smash or down smash, like it will break his grab as he grabs you. So there are ways around it. So yeah, I think Lucina, because she has like such even kill power, really good offstage game, strong moves. It's just very easy to do what she needs to do. I think that gives her the edge over someone like Marth, who you'll see in a minute. Same with Roy. Now I'll explain why I think they do worse. Luigi, slight advantage. Yeah, I mean he's got his kill confirms, good grab combos, but he the nerfed recovery is really bad for him, I think, especially because we can block side B with a Pikmin, and that will just stop it altogether. The distance it goes. Losing down B not only in recovery but also the ability to gimp us is very good for us because Olimar's recovery is so good, but I mean even in Smash 4, like you would just sometimes die at like 0 or whatever because you couldn't do anything. He would do it over and over. But now that he lost that, he has to do a lot more on stage game. And while he does all right, I think in a lot of areas of the matchup he doesn't do it. We can contest his aerials now, like in neutral area he can't just fall with it anymore to beat out our stuff, you know. Similar to Mario, holds shield, sits center stage, and don't get back thrown. I think he still has like down throw into like down B or something like that. I'm not sure how much you can whistle things like that, but I don't think I think in the grand picture of the matchup he doesn't have everything he needs to really contest Olimar, and we can push advantage state against him a lot better in this game. Mario, slight advantage matchup. Definitely better than Dr. Mario. He has the speed, but he, like, in Smash 4, Olimar Mario was even matchup in my opinion. And that was because he would pressure us really well. We couldn't contest him a lot of the time because Smash scenarios would clank. Well, that's not a thing anymore. We lost the ability to spam pivot grab, yes, but, and he still has solid pressure with aerials or with other things. But now that we have legitimate aerials, if he approaches, we can retreat. And it's like he approaches a back air, we retreat with forward air, bam, we beat him. Or he's recovering, now we can down air it. Or he's doing something, now we can aerial it. You know, we still have a lot of our game plan. We still have super strong purple pressure. We still have good smashes. We have safe on shield pressure. And he's got what he's got, but like he got worse in that his kill options aren't as good. He doesn't have, you know, the up air, up B stuff nearly as like cheesy as it was in Smash 4, which is what you needed. Like, you don't have that. Olimar gets out of a lot of stuff. Whistle's really good. He still relies off up smash and things like that to get his kill options. So holding shield, sitting center stage, it's gonna make it difficult for him to get his kills. And so like he has to approach you, but when he approaches you, you can cover him. But he can't camp you because if he camp you, you're either gonna get purples, which means you approach now, or he's gonna eat a ton of percent. Like, I played Dark Wizzy. I played him in Smash Conference. I beat him 3-1. I made the mistake of letting him take me to Battlefield, and he destroyed me on Battlefield. But against Prodigy, I played him at Genesis, and I 3-0'd him there. And I banned both triplats because I wanted to avoid anything like that. But I think Mario can do it. It's just very difficult. You have to make sure to find your ways in, and you have to make the most out of your hits because it's very hard to do it, and it's hard to get in. Excuse me, and Olimar can contest you very well. So that's my thoughts on that. Flood's annoying, Cape's annoying, but I mean, an annoyance doesn't win a matchup, you know? Marth, it's just harder Lucina. Like, you get less, you kill worse. Like, if you get a tipper, great, but if you don't, I'm living super high percents, and that's not what you want against Olimar. If I'm alive, that's a problem. I don't care about my percent, I care about having my stock. Because if I have my stock, I can win. But with a character like Marth, they might suffer that if they can't get these tippers, and it can really be detrimental, even though he has a similar benefits. I think he's slight advantage for Olimar because he lacks that even kill power, and he's much harder to play, and you just get a lot less for the same amount of work as Lucina. Megaman. I'm leaning towards even. I think Megaman, it's a very weird matchup. Like, so if I F smash and he pellets once, it goes through. If he pellets twice, it goes through. If he pellets 3 times, it stops my forward smash. So that he has a way to deal with forward smash. It's a lot of like up and down as jumping, throwing stuff at people a ton of the time. His aerials are pretty good. Yeah, Prodigy's very good. But like Leaf Shield is very interesting in this game. The grounded version will stop our smashes. Sometimes I think it acts in a similar way to how the pellets work, where if it gets hit by enough of the leaves, it'll stop it, but if not, then it goes through. Our aerials will beat it. We can still like punish his recovery and stuff like that. It's very back and forth. Like he hits us hard, and he's got really annoying neutral, and we do the same thing to him, and it's just like a constant back and forth, like a slugfest almost. No super outstanding things. Like I mean, I combo him. I would say harder than he combos me with like up smash and up airs because of his weight. But he's got like his, leaf shield, whatever. Actually, they nerfed it, so now he can't do pellet into leaf shield or whatever, but still got that. He's got, back air, forward air stuff, up air juggles. So just a very back and forth match. There's not too much to say. I mean, you generally want to try and use like forward smash to kind of wall out his projectile, stop Metal Blade and stuff like that. Find your opening with like a fair down tilt and then push your advantage state on him. I think he might have a little bit of a tough time keeping us in disadvantage, but he's got other ways to make up for it and keep it relatively even. Meta Knight, I think it's even. He can still do some of the ladder combos. Like I was fighting AC and he hit me a couple times with the up air, up air, up air, up B. His offstage game is pretty good. We can get around it, but like back air is still really strong. NATO is so good because he just, as long as it's out, it can hit you, and then it's got super good recovery. He's got dare camping, so it can be tough to catch him, but we kill him very easily. We can get around his recovery or like his offstage pressure. We can gimp his recovery or like kill it with our down air. We can just beat whatever he has to do, whatever he does. So it's another one of those back and forth matchups, like where in certain areas we just body him, and then in other areas like he can keep us in a really bad spot for a long time. Whistle does help in a lot of ways against certain options, like up air, up air, up air, nair. We can whistle the nair. But like up air, up air, up air, up air, up air, up B or something like that, it's not always, like sometimes you just die. So it's just another very volatile matchup, which is usually the case with the even matchups. It's like characters that can also kind of just like blow Olimar up as well as he can blow them up, or zone break, or get something that they really need. Whereas the characters below it don't always have that luxury, or have like very linear things that kind of make them struggle. Mewtwo. Put Mewtwo in slight advantage for Olimar. He's a lot worse in this game in ways that he didn't need to be. Like he doesn't get to spam down tilt for free anymore, and even you could even deal with it in Smash Forward. It's a lot more annoying. We can now contest his aerials very easily, which was a big thing for Olimar. Like now we don't have to be nearly as scared in the air. Like obviously forward smash and stuff is still good, or forward air is still good, but it's not like now we have something to put out for it. The reflector being not as like ridiculous is pretty helpful as well. He's light, he dies easy. I think his up throw got worse. It's either his got worse or ours just got so much better that it just makes his look worse. So we kill him super free. His recovery can be, exploited in some capacity because it's a teleport. But I think both. Okay, I think he just lost some of the stuff. Like he's still fast, but he's a big body. Like I thought it was an even matchup in Smash 4. As much as people didn't like to agree with that, it's like, but he's a big body who dies easy, and now we can kill him easier. We can contest him in the air. Like it's just better for us. And he lost some of the stuff he had, so it's going to be easier for us to deal with him. We can, we throw stuff at him when we get up close. We hit harder than him, and we just get more for what we do than he does. I fought like one Mii Brawler online. It's hard because they have so many different moves. Larger hitbox. I don't know. PDS King. I'm not sure if they do have a larger hitbox. They might, but yeah, I don't actually know. I don't think anyone has ever tested it, and I think the only way we're going to know is if we ask like one of the data miners. Brawler, I'm gonna put in a large advantage. It's hard for me to talk on the Miis, because they have so many different movesets, but I think he suffers kind of like Dr. Mario, where he's kind of like that up close brawler, and he's got some decent stuff. Yeah, it's very possible it does PDS King. I'm just not 100% sure. But it's very, like, he suffers kind of like the Dr. Mario issue, where he's not as fast as someone like Mario, or at least I don't think he is. And the way he applies pressure is alright, but it's not as good. So you can kind of keep him out. I don't have too much to say about him, unfortunately. It's just, like, from my experience, he can struggle if you really, like, punish his character for having the like, kit he does. Mii Gunner, slight advantage. You can block a lot of their stuff. They have some decent stuff with decent range. Their RB's pretty good, but honestly, actually, no. You're going over here. It's just bad for Gunner. You block their stuff. It's very difficult for them to do much. Um, they don't have super good boxing options. Like it's just similar to Brawler, just with projectiles. You just block a lot of what they do, and they don't have ways to like keep you off of them. Swordsman though, this character is as ridiculous as they come. I'll put him at even. Tornado is probably the stupidest move I've ever seen in this game. Set knockback moves are to me poor design in a lot of ways. Like there are obviously examples where it works out fine, but with the way they handled the tornado, it's so like I don't even want to use this word, but brain dead in a sense. It's like it does the same thing every time, and it beats every other projectile. And to me, that's just really lazy design. There's way too much reward off of it, and then you mix that with I'll be right back. I smell smoke, and I want to make sure my house isn't burning down. Seems to be good. But anyways, as I was saying, yeah, neutral B. It's like very like low commitment, high reward, and then up B super strong. So I think like those two things are very centralized in his toolkit. Honestly, I would say that probably carries the matchup for him in a lot of ways. It allows him to maintain a competitive back and forth with Olimar. It's very frustrating to fight. Other than that, I mean, some of his moves are alright. Down air, forward air, up air, whatever you want. I mean, he's got the counter too, which is pretty strong. His recovery is not bad when he has like the one like spin move or whatever. So he does pretty good, which I think lets him keep it competitive. But it's primarily Tornado and up B. Game and Watch. I don't have a lot of Game and Watch practice. I'm thinking. I would be inclined to give it a slight advantage, Olimar, just because like we can block and deal with his bombs from forward air pretty well. He dies very easily. We can contest his hitboxes. Like yeah, bucket's a reflector, but like one, I don't even think that's a multiplier, but two, just like don't. The biggest thing is just not letting him like reflect your stuff all the time. What is it? So, like with Game & Watch, you're just kind of like zoning him out, using a lot of side B, forcing him to approach, and then when he approaches, kind of like keeping him out with the smash. And it's like you make him approach, then you knock him away, and rinse and repeat. It's like now he's away, now he's gonna approach again, and you make it very difficult, and just like rack a percent while he does it, and then he dies easily, so you can catch him with that. I think you can two-frame him with down smash in this game with the yellow. I'm not sure. If anything, you could dare his stuff. Just be careful. But he can be a little annoying. But I don't think he has any super strong options that allow him to maintain like a really even pace with Olimar. Because he doesn't have speed. He doesn't have like some fantastic zoning option someone like Megaman would have, or like Gunner, or like Sword Fighter. So, and he doesn't have like the speed or the ridiculous range of a lot of characters. Ness, I'm gonna give slight advantage. Yeah, he has like slight, or he has like good aerials that are kind of scary. He's got stuff like like up air is really good. I think it's safe on platforms or whatever when he pressures with it, and air's pretty good. But now we can contest him, and that bit my tongue, and that's really important for us. I mean, we get to like punish him for doing what he always did, and that's using his aerials. Yeah, his yo-yo is pretty good at the ledge, but you can actually snap to the ledge without getting hit. I've done it before on down smash. Reds are pretty good against Ness as well, just because they're spamming a lot of PK Fire. Oh, thank you, PDS King. I appreciate it. You know, if they want to PK Fire, you just red up smash through and they're getting hit. His recovery can be exploited. You know, you can still go down there and hit him. You do need to respect PK Thunder, too, to an extent. Obviously, you don't want to get hit by it and die. But you can just handle him pretty decently. He's kind of scary and strong still, but, I mean, that's not enough to, like, let him keep up. He doesn't have a super strong way to really get in like the even characters do. Like, these characters all have something that allows them to, like, have their own level of, like, bullshit or kind of keep up in a way, and he doesn't. He's close. Like, he's got some strong stuff, but he lacks it either due to range or not having enough raw speed or a disjoint like a lot of these characters do. Thank you, Valak. Pac-Man. Very limited Pac-Man experience. Like, I'm leaning towards slight advantage. Oh, I know something that's really cool is when he hydrants in the air now, you can up air it and send it right back to him while it's falling. That's so good. So you can deal with hydrant really easily now. I don't know if it works in this game like it did in Smash 4, but in Smash 4, like, let's say he throws key, right? And you forward smash, it will deactivate the hitbox on his key and you'll be fine. I don't know if it still works in that game. I wouldn't be surprised in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But like similar to a lot of the other like zoning characters like Duck Hunt or something, you're kind of just like blocking his stuff and then getting in. He has good up close options, like his nair is really good, things like that. But it's like contest him in the air, kind of outrange him, block his stuff when he's up close. You know, if anything, grab his key or whatever the hell he throws, and then like run away and side beam and force him to approach, and then do something similar to how like someone like Rob is. And then like give them trouble, and you know you can down air his up B now where you couldn't before because I had a hitbox. You can punish his disadvantage state before. You can do this in Smash 4, but you can latch a Pikmin onto a side B pellet and cancel it, and it'll fall. And if he doesn't react fast enough, he can die. So I think you can kind of like contest his projectiles pretty well. You can deal with Hydra very easily, and you can contest him in a lot of ways that are just really strong for Olimar. And he doesn't have some super wow factor that lets him kind of like keep up in the best way. Palutena. Palutena. Even? Even or slight advantage? I guess I'll put it in even. I mean, it's a weird matchup. Auto Reticle and Explosive Flame are pretty annoying options when you're far away. They can be in there. But the key is all like kind of like going, you know, using your movement to go up and down and kind of get in on her. And then once you get in on her, the Blessing Soul is a bit better. Like better than Palutena as a character. But like you want to get in on her. Big things obviously respect dash attack, respect back air because of the invincibility on the shield and stuff. But you can deal with a lot of stuff like you can whistle a lot of the down throw fair stuff they try. Holding shield's really good. Things better in the matchup. It might be slight advantage. Definitely isn't out of there. Out of the possibility. I was thinking like the big thing she has up air is super good at juggling, and Olimar's poor speed can make it really difficult to get away from her. Like his poor airspeed, and it's not easy to deal with up air. Nair's super good because it always sends you out. It's really good to kill. It's a multi-hit. She's got decent speed. Yeah, it could be a slight advantage matchup. I wouldn't put it past it. I think right now I don't have a solid enough foundation for me to put it in slight advantage. Like if I did, I'd be lying to myself because I couldn't tell you why. You know, like Olimar has tools to do it, but it feels like right now for me, Palutena has ways to kind of keep up competitively. Like she feels almost like she can Smash 4 in a sense, where it's like a lot of light hits, but then she's got a few really good hits that'll kill you. But it's a lot of like forward air, dash attack, back air, kind of just like to pester you constantly. But in this game, we can contest her pretty well, so slight advantage is definitely possible. I'm just not in a spot for me to be like, yes, This is why. Pichu, slight advantage for Olimar. Pichu has pretty good aerials, yeah. Hits very hard, but we can contest Pichu's aerials. We can, holding shield works wonders against Pichu because they don't have a kill throw. They have the up throw thunder or whatever, but it's not perfect. Whistle helps a lot against Pichu just because of the way they approach certain things. We can wall Pichu out. We can block like T-jolts with our Pikmin. You want to catch Pichu before they get to you because once they get in, it's kind of scary. But Whistle helps a lot for things like up air, neutral air, things like that. You need to really abuse it for the single hits, and then use your aerials for multi-hits to contest them. Pichu dies really easy, which is a bad thing for the character. Like, I'm talking like, you can kill Pichu at like high 70s with a max rage up throw. High 70s with an up throw? What the hell? Understanding how they're going to cover with quick attack, understanding how they want to approach, and blocking them and having your hitboxes out beforehand gives you a lot of advantage. And they don't have, like, a super good way to keep up with us. Like, let's look. Like, Fox and Greninja are really fast characters, right? But they do it in a way with more range and better pressure than someone like Pichu. And they get a lot more bang for their buck. Like, their combo stuff is a kill you combo. Pichu's combo stuff is a combo. And then they kill you with, like, something else usually. Whereas these characters, they'll just kill you with, like, their nair that they've been spamming. Pichu won't do that, this in the same way. So I think Pichu kind of just lacks that oomph with how easy it is for Pichu to die. And with how good our recovery is, we can get around it, that it allowed, like, we can kind of keep up with Pichu very well. Pikachu, same thing. I mean, Pikachu might end up being an even matchup eventually, but I don't think so right now. Maybe if you play it, like, really lame and you camp Olimar very hard. But with aerials that actually contest stuff, it's super easy to deal with Pikachu and Pichu, because they can't just, like, press buttons on us for free anymore. Yeah, they have the quick attack approach, unlike Pichu, but, they have a multi-hit nair, which has its benefits and downsides. It depends on what you want to do. They have a little bit heavier. They lack some kill power. I mean, having a single hit, having the single hit forward smash is better for us because we can whistle it a lot easier. I also don't know if it's safe on shield. Their F tilt's not a kill option, so like losing that kill power for the advantage of maybe not dying as early, and maybe having a few bit better combos doesn't really matter to us that much. I think we still kill Pikachu very easily, and they just don't get enough bang for their buck. They could probably do decent off stage, keeping us in disadvantage, but I think we can still get around them very well, like we always could in Smash 4. Just be really creative with your RB. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Pikachu ended up going to an even matchup, but for right now, I'm putting it in slight advantage. But I expect it to be a very lame matchup if it does turn into even. Like Pikachu has to play like campy or something. Piranha Plant. I found out yesterday. I played against Piranha Plant. I found out this for the first time. I did not know Piranha Plant's like gas, the poison gas, stops side B and forward smash. It makes sense because it hits the Pikmin and like stops it. But that's not enough to save the character. He's just really, or she's just really slow. Doesn't have the best combos. Can be hard to get in stuff. Has a lot of single hits, which makes Whistle very good against her. Like, I was fighting the Piranha Plant, and they did, like, one of their setups into, like, up smash or whatever, and I just whistled up smash. So there are ways to deal with it. They don't have, like I said, the best way to deal with us. We can block their spike ball with our Pikmin, making it not go anymore, like it just stops it from moving anymore, like if it falls and, like, rolls or something. So, we also upload this to YouTube. Yeah, this will be uploaded. I'm going to post the image on Twitter when I'm done, and with the whole, like, 2-hour video or whatever it is will also be on YouTube. No, white Pikmin do not have poison immunity. I don't even know if Piranha Plant's thing is considered poison, if they made it a new type of thing for it, but it does not go through it. Oh, really? Okay. But with Piranha Plant, yeah, just very slow. Doesn't have the best combos. Has a lot of single hits for the stuff that matters, and is combo food. It's in that. It's like the heaviest heavy, and when you're slow and you're heavy, you're just a sitting duck a lot of the time, and Olimar just gets to do whatever he wants to. So I think it's very hard for Piranha Plant to keep up in a lot of ways. Like, yeah, some decent hits can do a lot of damage or whatever, but it's definitely not easy. Richter. It's an even matchup. I hate fighting the Belmonts. They're probably the thing I enjoy fighting the least. They're just not fun. It's just like alternating the special moves and then whip when you get close. I think they can zone us out pretty well, but once we get in, it's really bad for them. Just like make sure to respect neutral air and make sure to respect dash attack when they get close. But then if you shield that or they whiff it or whatever, it's like combo city on them. It's important to know how to mix up your ledge options against them and your timings when you're grabbing the ledge and stuff. Then I could call it by Axe or Holy Water or whatever. Whistle's really good against things like Axe or Whip because it's all single hit stuff. Like you're probably not going to die to any multi-hit thing, except like Holy Water or something. So if they want to do that, like when I was fighting Master Raven's Belmont, his Richter, a few weeks back or whatever, like I literally had to jump into him and whistle his whip, his like forward tilt or whatever, because I had to get in on him, and that was the only way that I felt comfortable doing it. But I think it's a very like back and forth matchup. Like they're gonna keep us out pretty well. Like we can throw a ton of stuff at them on a big stage and get our percent, but you have to be careful. But you also have to be comfortable in working your way in. Pairing is very important versus them to give you some advantage, to give you some leeway with approaching. Just be careful about forward tilt. It's very fast. It's very it'll catch off guard a lot if you're not careful. But I think it's one of those back and forth matchups where Olimar can do just fine, and the Belmonts can make it very difficult for us. But unlike us, the Belmonts also die very easily. Like all it takes is a quick clip of the recovery. They whip and you read it and you side B into the wall, the stage. They get hit. They're probably dead. You down to them, they're dead. Whatever it is, you can exploit that a lot more on them. I'll put Simon in the same tier, even though his Holy Water's worse. But I don't think the Holy Water's enough to make it a losing matchup. Ridley. Slight advantage. Just like Ridley's neutral air is really good and can kill you decently, but big body, good combo food. You can punish. You can't really fuck with her up B or his up B. Ridley's a guy, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a guy. Can't mess with Ridley's up B. So it's better off to usually just let him recover. The side B, they want to side B to the ledge, dare them, bear them, whatever you want to do. But just like on stage, just keep in mind things like dash attack and you're out of shield and stuff, and forward tilt. But you can kind of like outrange them and zone them out, and make them approach, and make it really difficult for them. What was I gonna say? When they do their neutral B, if you throw a Pikmin onto their face, it will block it. Every color except a red will die, but if you have like a red on their face and they fireball, it will block every fireball. So you can use that to approach. You can up air their down air. If they try and down air, you can just up air and hit them, and you won't trade if you space it right. So it's, Ridley's got some decent stuff. Alright kill power, solid range, good nair to shield, and Ridley can edge guard us decently with the nairs, but like, just pick your stages properly, do your best to get around it, and overall you should have an advantage. You're going to get a lot more damage than Ridley. You're going to kill them very easily. Just like try to abuse the fact that Ridley's a big body and doesn't always have the best frame data. Rob. Even. Feels very similar to Megaman in that it's us two throwing a ton of stuff at each other, like gyro, laser, Pikmin. Rob has the benefit of having a super good nair. Pairing is obviously frustrating because our Pikmin can die. Purple can usually tank an air, blue can tank an air usually. Reds will, I believe, immune to the fire, and you can up smash that if you parry it. Just be careful about down tilt and forward air because they're very fast. But a lot of times you're going to want to hit Rob before he's on top of you, kind of catch him as he's approaching with your aerials. Grab his gyro, run away, use side B a lot, make him have to approach. my set versus Wadi, it was 3-1 my favorite, I believe. Game 3, he actually caught me with like an early like 50 or 60% side B kill setup off stadium side. Like killed me with the side B. And he was winning most of that game, and I think I took his second stock and I was on my last one at like 100 something. And I took him like quick like 40, and then I knocked him off stage. I read his left get up. F smashed him with the purple, he got like 70 something, and then he tried to recover high, and he started up being. And then I saw he was going high, so I double jumped. I started being up there as well to the center of the stage, and he did the back air thing to like push himself, and I up aired him in like 70 with a purple and killed him because he was already in the magnifying glass. But he started doing better towards the end of the set. But at the beginning of the set, I was doing really well. But yeah, Rob's combo food. Obviously, you gotta watch out for side B. Very strong option. Has a reflector. Can be a bit annoying, but just like using your aerials, catching him, parrying is really important. If not, always you get a punish, but just kind of like diffuse his pressure. Maybe get in, jab off the parry, down tilt, things like that. Put him in that bad spot. Treat him like the heavy he is, combo food. But it's just like, I think he kind of maintains a even matchup because he's got like really annoying options, kind of like Megaman, where he's like poke, 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 and once he gets in, he can kind of do some damage, and he can even up stocks pretty easily as well. And he's got a solid recovery as well that's a bit difficult to challenge because of like up air and stuff. Robin. They're just slow. I mean, they're slow. You can block their projectiles. I think you can still crouch under Thoron. Like you can contest their aerials now. Obviously, their 11 sword aerials are very scary. You don't always want to mess with that, but like you can challenge them in the air a lot more. It's mainly like their lack of speed and the fact that we can like block their projectiles, similar to Samus. And then when you get it on them, they don't have a great get off me option, so you can combo them. You can pressure them very well with things like purples. Makes it very hard for them to stay competitive with you and keep up. They obviously have stuff when they touch you. It can be really devastating, like any character in this game. But it's hard for them to do that if you really know how to treat the characters. I don't have too much experience in this game, but from what I've talked with people and things like that, and what I've seen, and what the little bit I have played, it's very tough for them. I've played maybe one Rosalina. I'm gonna put slight advantage. I mean, I always looked at Rosa Olimar as an even matchup in Smash 4, and now she has worse kill power. Like her juggles aren't as devastating or whatever. I think it has like more lag. I know her down B gravitational pull I think can absorb all Pikmin now with side B instead of just purples, which is annoying. But similar like the ice climbers, how I said earlier, when you hit Luma with like an F smash, it kind of lingers and it creates just like an extra long hitbox. And Olimar doesn't suffer hit, like when I F smash, Olimar never suffers any hit lag. It's like my Pikmin does, and if you get hit, you do. It's just like difficult. It just like puts out a big hitbox, and I can do whatever I want. And I think Olimar can exploit her recovery very well, kills her very easily, handles Luma no problem. I don't know if you can in this game, but in like Smash 4, you could jab lock Luma indefinitely. There's a lot of ways to deal with it. You kill her easily. Whistle's always really good, and she lost the really extreme kill power she had. So she lost stuff and we gained it. So I think slight advantage is a very fine thing to put it. Might change in the future, but I don't know. Yeah, my set versus Wadi was recorded at. I just don't know when it's getting uploaded. All right, Roy, same thing as Marth. I mean, like he just has to work super hard for the same thing Chrom gets, except, and he's got decent stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like he can't go as deep as Chrom, or he can't go deep like Chrom. He doesn't have the same benefit as like a Marth. But his recovery is very exploitable. It's easy to down smash Roy's up B when he's grabbing ledge. Like, I'm talking easy. And then he's dead. Guaranteed. Unlike Chrom, who has, like, the Ike recovery, which gives him a bit more protection. More annoying than Cloud. I died. Yeah, because it had insane knockback growth and all that. And you could whistle in that game, too, which is difficult. But so I think Roy just struggles. Same thing as Marth. They're echoes or clones or whatever you want to call them. They're just more bang for their buck. They're easier. They get a lot more off it. They have to work a lot less harder. So he suffers from that. Ryu, Same thing as Ken. You know, he's got a sour spot on his short U, but it's a single hit, which makes it actually easier to whistle. His aerials, they're not as scary anymore. He still hits hard, sure, but he's slow, so he can be camped easier. Him and Ken have trade-offs, but I think they both struggle to get on Olimar now that we can test them a lot more. You know, sure, you don't have an invincibility anymore, so it's much less threatening. Whistle's always great versus characters that have a lot of single hits, focus attack, short U, forward air, whatever it is. So it's just they don't have a super good way to get in on us, and we do a lot of damage to them all the time. Sheik, even or slightly losing. Yeah, she's fast. It's kind of like Mario, where they're fast and they stay on you and they do a lot of light hits, but they struggle to kill. You kill them easily. You can block bouncing fish still, I'm pretty sure, with a Pikmin. And they're just like, there's not an outstanding thing they have to really keep up with Olimar. And I think that kind of makes them suffer a bit, Sheik especially. Shulk, that's an even matchup. I know all the Shulks are like, we beat Olimar, we did it. No. I'll tell you right now, there's not a... Shulk does not beat Olimar. And I will beat any Shulk who says they beat Olimar. Yeah, Sheik does very little damage, like, doesn't get much off of it, and we do the exact opposite. We get a ton of damage off our combos. Yeah, any Shulk that says they beat Olimar can play me, and I can destroy them, and then they can stop talking. It's a very volatile matchup. We kill... Yes, I did Money Match Nico Genesis. I won 3-2. Like, Shulk is good, yes, but he has things that don't allow him to win the matchup. He has a lot of single hits. Single hits are bad. I don't know. Last night at my weekly, I played Uncivil Ninja, our Shulk player, in winners finals. And game 1, he wins. I was a little frustrated. I felt like I didn't play my best there. Alright, I was like, okay. Game 2, I 3-stocked him. And so many times he would hit me, I would whistle it. Because Shulk has the downside of having these single hits. And normally, there's a lot of characters here who have single hits. But he doesn't have the speed in the sense that it's not like pop, pop, pop. It's like one large swing. When he gets his hit, he gets his hit. And that's the problem. That's whistle. You know, that's perfect stuff to whistle. And also, like, yeah, his Monado arts are very good. They provide great advantages. But they have downsides, you know, like when he's in speed, when he's in jump, it telegraphs certain options much more than you would expect. Or there are downsides to it, or he takes a ton of damage. Or when he's in Buster, I don't need to worry about dying, I also do a ton of damage. When he's in Shield, I will up smash him into up smash, into up smash, into up smash. You know, when he's in Smash, sure, I can die, but so can he. And I recommend, if you ever want to see the Shulk Olimar matchup, watch me in Uncivil. Like, you're going to see me, like, he'll go in Shield, and I will wait it out, and I will keep, like, juking him and going onto the stage and doing all this stuff and making it very hard to kill me, and he's not getting nearly as much as you would think. But as Olimar, I can just, like, do my same thing all the time, and I think it's an even matchup because of how volatile it is. But Olimar definitely has the tools to contend with Shulk, no problem. Probably the best sword in soccer didn't make him put his Monado away. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But with the current tools Shulk has, it's an even matchup. He's a good character, don't get me wrong. Definitely not the best in my opinion. The best is this gentleman right here. But yeah, even matchup. It's very volatile. It goes back and forth. Very enjoyable matchup. I like playing it. Except in Shulk's camping. God, they camp so much. It's so boring. What do you do to recover for Shulk? You just mix up your timing as you go really low. You go high. It's like there's so much flexibility you have because he has to commit. He has to hard commit to one option, and you use your movement and you like ride that fine line between being near him and thinking you're gonna and tricking him to thinking you're going to one way, and then juking it and going around. Snake. Try to edge guard you is also good. Yeah. Yeah, you want to make them have to deal with something before they get to you. I think Snake is a matchup that I'm getting better at. I don't feel totally comfortable in it yet, but I would put it towards slight advantage. I know DeBuzz is pretty good at it. Whistle his hits and usually do depending on the current art. Yeah, it definitely helps predict it a lot, and then do your thing, and then punish him for being a large body, and then like combo him and get your hits, and then know how to punish him. I really do recommend it if you want to learn Shulk Olimar. You watch me versus Uncivil Ninja. He's very good Shulk. You're gonna see how I do a lot of stuff. Yeah, DeBuzz has a Brawl XP with Snake. He's very good at it. I think we can block a lot of Snake's grenade stuff. We can combo him very easily. You know, it's very explosive, no pun intended, in that like we both kill each other really easily and all that. But I think Olimar has a little bit easier time kind of like stopping what he's doing. And DeBuzz's playstyle works really well for that, and I think it shows that you can kind of make it very hard for Snake. Even though he can kill you in some instances or whatever, but there are a lot of ways to deal with stuff. And we kill Snake decently. Obviously, he can live to high percents, but, you know, if any character can kill him easily, we can. Sonic. I think it's an even matchup. I might just be trash at it, which is really sad because I was really good at it in Smash 4. But I don't think Sonic necessarily has, like, a super good aspect. I think just his speed allows him to play in a way to where it can be really frustrating and really lame and take like really long matches. Homing attack being unreactable, I'm pretty sure at certain spacings is very difficult to deal with. There's just like so many ways he can mix it up. It's like a lot of hit and run stuff. Can we just smash attack? Yes and no, because they don't always have to commit. Like that's the thing about spin dash is that like they can charge it. Like you can't react to it at certain spacings. So you're playing a guessing game, and when you play a guessing game, it's easy for you to be wrong, for them to just like jump out and then homing attack you. So there's not a consistent way to deal with it. Like yes, if you smash at certain intervals, you're going to clank with him or beat him out and win, but they never do it the same timing. And then you know Fair's really strong. He's got decent off-stage pressure, like with that. But I think we kill him pretty easily. We can edge guard him easier in this game. I think if you know how to deal with things like homing attack, you can punish those pretty easily. But like with his speed, I could see that turning into a matchup where it just gets like really campy, and he kind of just like plays with the runaway game. And when you're a character like that, since you know Shulk does the same thing, I didn't really mention it. They play campy. It's very hard to catch a character with high mobility. Doesn't mean they win. It just means it's annoying and it's even, and your goal is to not let them get a lead, which is very much possible. But it's something that you have to think about during those games. Like if you watch me versus Uncivilized Ninja, you'll see we go back and forth, and then he gets the lead, and then he runs away, and it's just like, ugh, okay, I guess. Squirtle. Slight advantage. Yeah, he's got some decent combos, but we can whistle a lot of them. Like the forward air stuff, we can usually whistle after a couple of those. He's very light, easy to kill. We can intercept side B. If there's a Pikmin on Squirtle and he side Bs, we block it. And then it stops him. So just like, yeah, his size and combos are pretty solid, but overall it's a bit difficult because he dies easily, and we can block a lot of stuff, and we can contest him in the air. It's pretty straightforward. Ivysaur is definitely the best out of all the three in the matchup, but even then he has his own issues. So I would put Pokemon Trainer in the slight disadvantage area. They can do alright, but they need to be really good at abusing each Pokemon's strengths in the right scenario. Toon Link, slight advantage. We can block his projectiles pretty well. He has to play pretty lame, I think. He has to run away a lot, but if you're really good about it, you can catch his landings. You can punish him. Just like be on top of your stuff, block his projectiles. He's very straightforward in how he plays the game, and I think that allows us to kind of weave around it. There's not too much to it. I mean, I definitely need more experience in the matchup, I think, to get into the super fine details, but I don't see it being an even matchup. I think we get a lot more bang for our buck when we get a hit. Whistle's really good because he has so many single hits. Yeah, it's just like we can block a lot of stuff similar to Link, except he kind of lacks some of the luxuries that Link has, but he makes up for it in other ways with how he can like zone with his projectiles. Villager, very similar to Isabelle. You know, we kind of outzone them. We can deal with Lloyd Rocket pretty easily with forward smashes. Yeah, they can pocket stuff. It's not a super big deal. Their recovery, it can be exploited if you're really good about it. They die easily. We can challenge their aerials this game, and that's huge because that means they lose their free, you know, disadvantage, like get out of jail free card. They can't just like land with Nair all the time. Plus, Pikmin are a lot harder to get off in this game with the way they latch on, so Nair doesn't always do it for free. So I think it's just we're getting more than they are in a lot of interactions, and that helps us a lot. Wario, slight advantage. Wario's good, but he suffers from. I think of Wario kind of like a worse Peach, where it's like they kind of like hover around you, like good airspeed and good pressure, but he can't hover or float, which is bad, which means he has to hard commit. Big body syndrome, yeah, to an extent. I mean, he's like a heavy character, so he does get combo food stuff, but it's also like he doesn't have a projectile unless he throws his bike, but that's a whole other thing. His recovery is a lot, like you can dunk his recovery much easier than you could like Peach. He has good aerials and he has good combos and stuff like that, but he has a lot of single hits, so Whistle helps a ton with that. Our aerials can test him very well, similar to Peach, but unlike Peach, he's not doing the same level of pressure all the time. He's not floating and not having to stop his pressure. He does one or two and then he has to stop. So I think it makes it very hard. He's susceptible to be camping. I think ideally the Wario wants to play it really patient, get his waft, play it pretty campy, get his hits, and then run away and rinse and repeat. But I think it is a slight Olimar advantage. We have a lot of ways to deal with him. We kill him pretty easily, or as easy as it can get. And it's just a bit difficult for him if you play it really right. And I know Glutoni lost at Genesis or whatever to I'm Hip, but he also had like no Olimar experience. I played with him some actually before he played Klato. I didn't know he was playing him, but I played with him. I gave him some advice and then he beat him. Like he's a good player and Wario's good. I don't know if Tweak went Wario against the Buzz, but what is it? Just like it. He doesn't have a great way to stay on top of us because when he approaches, we can usually catch him on his way. He used Wario once versus the Buzz too, but lost. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. We fit trainer, large advantage for us. They don't have a great way to approach. Their hitboxes suck. We can block their projectiles. I mean, it's just hard for them to get in, and they need to get in to do something. And since we can block their projectiles, it's not easy. Like I'm sure they have some stuff, but you need to get in on Olimar and that's the hard part. And if you don't have something to do that, then you're going to be struggling. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. Wolf, even. It's a matchup I personally feel like I'm trash at. It's a matchup I think Shuton needs some improvement at as well. The Buzz played it pretty decently, but I feel like even then, like I feel like all of us are just not as good as we could be at it. But I think it's a very back and forth matchup similar to Fox. Like he has really good shield pressure. He's got good tools. He can 2-frame with F tilt, so you need to mix up your up B timings to grab the ledge differently. We kill him very early. If he side Bs, you can yellow down smash it every single time, and it has to be yellow. I don't know what it is about a side B, but like yellow down smash, he's dead every time. Up B, you need to respect a little bit more, but if you're really good, you can just down air it. If you're careful. He dies easy, he's kind of combo food. Lasers can be annoying, but just be careful about the stages you're going to kind of make it harder for him to do that. And it's kind of like just a battle of like who gets the combo, who harder. We both kill very early, very volatile. Once like I've been saying, the two things you have in these matchups are like a slow, like you're really good at running away or like camping or being like really like hit and run type deal, or you have certain advantages that make it hard for Olimar to keep up or like get in your face or something, or it's very explosive and you guys like will kill each other super early, like Wolf, Fox, Greninja, Ike, Peach, like pop, back and forth, and I think Wolf fills that niche pretty well. Yoshi, slightly losing matchup. There's no reason for Yoshi to beat Olimar in this game. Not much to see Rogue for just playing, or not just playing, just finishing up my matchup chart for Olimar. Yoshi in Smash 4 beat Olimar because we could not contest him in the air. Similar to Peach, it was very difficult. When you got purples, you actually beat Yoshi in Smash 4 because you were able to put out enough hitboxes to stop him. But in this game, we don't have to respect him in the air anymore. You just lose. So you need to, you probably gonna want to play in a way that like matches his speed because he's still very fast in the air. Yes, I remember that version. That was like looking like Witch Twist from Smash 4. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, don't down smash it. If you wanna mess with it, down air it. Like do a run off rising dare. But other than that, it's fine to respect it. But Yoshi, he's gonna move around a lot. He's gonna press a lot of buttons. That's fine. Space yourself in a way where he approaches, you push out your button as you retreat, and it covers him. And he can't do much about that. He's still got some decent stuff, decent combos. He can be a little annoying off stage with eggs or something. But it's definitely not an advantage or anything like that. Like if you know how to handle him, pairing's really good against Yoshi. He has a lot of single hit moves outside of like dare and stuff. And you just kind of like keep hitting him, and it's like he has to approach a lot of the time, unless he spams eggs, but you can block those with Pikmin and stuff. What about all the Olimars complaining about getting rushed down by Yoshi? I don't know why they complain about getting rushed down by Yoshi. Most Olimars though, Olimar doesn't lose. No, Olimar's not losing matchups. In my opinion, most Olimar players suck at handling rushdown. They crack under pressure very well. And at the higher levels, you'll see usually two things. You'll see someone like DeBuzz, who is very like rock solid, hard to crack, solid defense. You know, you don't get to break him. Or you'll have someone like me who's like, oh, you want to come into my face? How about I come into your face? And then like we're rushing each other down. It's very fast paced, like blah 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 blah. But most Olimars try to play that mid-range, and you can play the mid-range in plenty of matchups. But when you're getting rushed down and you're trying to play mid-range, you're going to lose. Because you're trying to play in a way where you're already giving them space and letting them try to react slowly, but they're already like rushing you down. It doesn't work that way. So it's very difficult to do. So you either need to give yourself tons of space and know when to hit them back and know how to stop them, or you need to be in their face and hit them before they hit you. But most Olimars suck at that. So that's why they struggle with stuff like that. Young Link, similar stuff to Toon Link and Link. They all have like different. The three Links all have a different edge they get. Like Young Link is very quick and agile and has good projectiles, but he doesn't kill nearly as easily, and he's light and he dies easily. So it can be tough, and he's smaller, so his range isn't as good. So that's the trade-off he has, but it's similar stuff. You kind of like both throw stuff at each other, but Olimar kills way easier. You can block his stuff, so it's not as strong. Just like know when to respect his neutral air and back air, similar to Link and stuff like that. But they're all very similar in how they handle it. You just have to make slight adjustments for each matchup. But I think Olimar wins it too because he's able to contest Young Link's stuff and then hit him before he's getting to him. Zelda is an even matchup. It's a weird matchup. It's have any benefits against arrow spam? I don't know if it's immune to arrows. I don't know if they're only fire. So it might. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I know if you have a Pikmin on the front of Young Link, it should block his bomb throw. Same with Toon Link, I'm pretty sure. But Zelda, she's pretty annoying. I mean, the Phantom is really good. It can cover certain options, and there's so many timings they can mix up with it that can be hard to deal with. Nehru's Love is annoying, and you have to respect it to a certain degree because it's a reflector and it has invincibility. So you have to keep that in mind. But it's very back and forth. It's like Olimar can get it on her, do some damage, but then when she's kind of approaching with like Phantom and all that stuff, you have to know how to deal with that and how to and give enough respect to Nehru's Love that it's a back and forth. She can kill you decent. She got good kill throws. Her aerials are obviously very strong as well. Dense Fire can be really destructive when you're off stage trying to recover. Phantom can cover certain areas. So it's just like knowing how to weave in and out of Phantom and Nehru's Love and knowing when to bait things out and kind of using the max range on your stuff to try and punish her. I know a lot of Olimar struggle with this matchup, but I can see why if you're not super aware on how to deal with stuff, it's going to be frustrating. But it's one of the matchups that the more you practice it, the more you understand the intricacies and the like openings in where like using Phantom or where using Nehru's Love or where using something else has it and where you can get in or how you can jump around it and weave around her options to get in. So I think even is a good matchup for her there. It can go both ways. It can be very destructive for both characters. Zero Suit Samus. I've played like 2 Zero Suits. But I'm putting it in slight advantage. I don't think her ladder combos are nearly as strong. And I mean that she already lost Olimar in Smash 4. His small size mixed with his kill power is very good against Zero Suit. She's light. Her hitboxes are very like linear and like a lot of lines are not like big large hitboxes. So we can dodge a lot of her stuff. We can make it we're hard to hit. So it's just like she already has a hard time getting in on us because she has very straightforward approach options. Her hitboxes aren't the greatest. We dodge a lot of them. We hit much harder than her. We kill her easily. We rack up a lot of damage when she has to approach as well. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. Very similar to Smash 4, I think. Just like watch out for things like down B and stuff and back air, obviously. But you should be fine with it. It's nothing too extreme. How exactly does Zelda Reflector work? I mean, it's a reflector, but it also has like multiple hits on it. So it's like it has its own multi-hit box. and a reflector, so it can reflect stuff, but sometimes you can also get caught in the multi-hit of it. So like you can get your F smash reflected onto you, and then the hit of Neighbor's Love will actually catch you and save you sometimes. But I mean, you have to watch out to not get reflected. But it's also the intangibility. I think it's like frame 4, frame 6. I want to say frame 4, and invincibility. My bad. I don't think it's intangibility, but it doesn't really matter. You can't punish either. But that's also what you have to keep in like mind, because it's almost like combo break at times. What about the Alpha matchup? Alpha loses to Olimar because he's a worse character. But this is my matchup chart. Hope you all enjoyed the explanations. This will be on YouTube.